Ipcock, welcome back. And yes, you have read that title right. Coventry are 10 points clear of second place. They've got 1 foot in Premier League already. But we are going to go over all of the Championship's weekend's games, starting with Oxford versus Ipswich. Now, this was on Sky on Friday night. Lee Davies took that really well, to be fair. Well-worked corner routine. But I saw some Ipswich fan on Twitter say that Ipswich have basically become everything that they swore to destroy. You know what I mean? Like, when they first come up to Championship in first place, they come up as like a bit of an underdog, even though they spent a lot of money in League One and gone up as one of the best teams ever, probably best team I've ever seen in League One. But still, the point remains, they've come up as an underdog, like a lot of grit and that about them. Everybody sort of knew what they were about. Like, you know what I mean? They had this identity, Ipswich, and I feel like that has sort of gone recently, and it's a lot of overpaid, overrated shite is what this Ipswich fan were getting it on Twitter. And I can understand where it's coming from, because you should be casting this Oxford team to the side. Oxford are not a cracking side, obviously. That goes without saying when you look at where they are actually in division. They're down in 20th. So you expect Ipswich, a side that's come down with loads of parachute money. They spent like 100 million quid when they went up anyway. They've still got one at best, if not best manager in division. You expect wins. You expect consistent wins at that. And to have them 8th, I know that they're like creeping up on top 2, and they have been for a while now. I reckon form-wise, I'll have a look, like for the last 10. Yeah, they are a playoff side at last 10. They are getting better, really, as it goes on. But you expect more from this side, and you should do as well. Oxford have grafted, and they've got some grit about them that Ipswich once did show that they're not doing anymore. And with someone like Gary Rowett, this is what you expect. You expect tighter games from Oxford. And they have been, to be fair, even in the ones that they've lost, apart from the Stoke one where they got tongued, they have been in a lot of the games, a lot of draws, and that's what concerned me, that people are happy with draws for Oxford when they need to get more of these results off the line. But I think there's definitely 3 worse sides than Oxford. I'm still worried for them long term, because January, I think when you're going up against like a Swansea, Portsmouth, Norwich that are below them at the minute, that's when you could really see a shift then. But if they can spend a little bit, keep all the better players in Jan, get some decent loans in, I think there are 3 worse teams in Oxford in this league, definitely. And I think all 4 of them are probably below them a minute. It's a cracking win, but Ipswich have just really got to find some more consistency. Like, I know it's easy to look at someone like Coventry and say, well, this is where you should be, when they've got 43 points in 18 games and a goal. They've got 50 goals in 18 games. It's obscene. But that is what Ipswich should have been. Like, before the season started, that's what everybody looked at and thought, that is not out of ordinary, or that is not too wild for people to say that Ipswich should have them points and them goals. The Coventry have got, but they're just not consistent enough for me, Ipswich. They're not losing loads of games, but they're also not winning enough consistently to warrant being rated top where they should be. But what a win that is for Oxford, regardless. It's top draw. Right, Saturday, we've got some funky old scorelines going on. We're going to start with Leicester and Sheffield United, which finished 3-2. Now, Sheffield United were 3-0 up. Peck and, to be fair, I'm going to say that Videveld fella in from Palace that were squaddy for ages. It were no hair volley at edge at box, and it took a deflection, so that wasn't a good one, really. But the Peck goal were really good. Tidy finished that. First half, just all Sheffield United, as you'd expect when they were 3-0 up. And then second half, a little bit of a squeaky ass, but you can't really expect him to come out 3-0 up and then just go, yeah, we're going to put it on you again. Like, your natural instinct, regardless of what Wilder said to him, natural instinct as a player when you're 3-0 up away from home and you're shit is, let's just sit back a little bit. Let's protect what we've got. So I don't blame him for this second half. And obviously Leicester are going to put it on you anyway. But it ended up being a little bit squeaky, didn't it? Mavididi scored in 53rd. James scored in 83rd. But then they saw it out quite well to get a much-needed 3 points. Sheffield, they are up to 19th now. They'll probably stay away from it for the rest of the season. And they're scoring a lot more goals. 3 goals in each of the last 3 games against Wednesday, Portsmouth and Leicester. Not exactly worlds collide fixtures, are they, really, when you're playing against 3 shitters. Well, I'm including Leicester in that as well, because City Wed will probably get buoyed by the time I've posted this. But you can only beat what's in front of you, can't you? And they've done it in the last few weeks, and it's about time. Leicester, though, Jesus Lord. Like, a number 9 has always been a problem. Always. I don't think defensively has been that much of an issue for Leicester. And even if you go to the actual goal tally, yes, they've conceded 3 in this game, but they conceded 20 before that, which is in line with some top sides, Birmingham, Wrexham. Ipswich just conceded 18. Bristol City in playoffs, Preston, like even Middlesbrough and Millwall were both in top 3. Like, the goal scored was not a problem before this game. And I think defensively they're not been that bad either for the most part, especially at home. But they're just pish going forward. Like, it was too easy for Sheffield United anyway, from bits that I've seen of this. But Leicester are just shit going forward. They offer no. The diddle squat, mate, is how I would put it. And can you have a side like Leicester in 16th in what is a very even division when Leicester should be pissing it? Absolutely not. You looked at Southampton, who we'll come to in a bit, that had a very good weekend. But Southampton were down in and around this position. The sack will still. You immediately, even though I don't think they've even changed that much, you start winning games, you start pulling away from any sort of danger. I think it is just naturally what happens, even if you are playing half-decent stuff, which Leicester aren't. Leicester playing crap. So I expect City to get boot soon, definitely. But a good win for Sheffield. They are still crap, definitely. Then I still think they're quite naff up front, but a couple of volleys on edge at box, one's deflected, one's to Tom Cannon because Leicester's defending were atrocious for that. Someone like had a swing and a miss. It was some Sunday League defending. But apart from that, 3 wins in a row, no loss in 4. Yeah, Sheffield United will be all right now, ain't they? The Pigs. Pompey and Bristol City. I am extremely worried, about certain fellas in this team. And we'll start with this one, Colby Bishop. When did he last score a goal? You are going to West Brom very early in the season. He's got 1 goal in 18 games. Who else is there up front? Murphy didn't look like he's had a great cracking game, but I think he's probably been one of their only half-decent attackers so far. 0 goals in 11 games. Callum Lang, I think he's only just come back from injury, to be fair. Yeah, we'll let him off, but no goals in 4 games. Where's El Chapo? He's not even been that good that he's been on bench. Jesus Christ. No goals in 13 games. Clear problem for Pompey in front of goal. The toss. They offer very little anyway, but in games like this, I watched the highlights of all these games, obviously. In this game, they should have scored, but they cannot find net for love nor money. And in what is an even game here, this just definitely shows the difference when you've got McMetty, who knows where net is, more or less every single week, a very good forward in this division, and that's why Bristol City is 6th. Portsmouth can't score to save their life, and they're down 3rd bottom. Now, for all the hard work that Portsmouth have gone through the last, decade, the amount of time that they spent outside of this division, the graft and Portsmouth fans will know how disgusting the League One is to try and get out of. It's horrible, especially when you think you should be getting out of every season and you constantly fail. So for him to have gone through all that crap, to have 1 good season, I don't think Mussini is even to blame much here. For your players to just really not be pulling the weight, some of them look overweight. They just do not look arsed. And it's a lot of same players that got you up in first place or that were here last season. They're just not putting a shift in, man. And I don't really know what you can even suggest to change. You've got 1 more goal in Sheffield Wednesday, who've got 4 children, 4 nappy babies running around, and a bunch of OAPs and note in middle. Wednesday are tossing, they've got 1 less goal than you with no hope at all. Portsmouth they look dead and buried already. They look like they're not arsed, and I feel like they look like they know what's coming. Yeah, we'll get moves in summer. You're not going to get a move in summer if you're playing this shit all the time. Portsmouth are crap. And when you look at their results, man, this is awful. They've got a lot of home games, and even in aways that they've had, some of it, apart from the Birmingham one where they got slapped. Yeah, I don't expect you to get anything away at Birmingham. But you could have gone to Hull and got something. You could have gone to Sheffield United away, not had a blatant handball online just to go for an early bath because you can't be asked. Some of these results and the way that games have gone is just rotten. And like I was saying earlier with Oxford, I can see certain teams getting better. Some sides look good. Some sides I expect to be a lot higher than what they currently are. Sheffield United being one. I think you're probably looking at Charlton downwards for a serious relegation battle. Can you find 2 other sides from Norwich upwards, because we're just going to write Wednesday off? Can Portsmouth find 2 other sides from Charlton down that they truly think they're better than? I don't think so. As a neutral looking from outside, that has nothing against any of these sides that don't start with Sheffield here, from Charlton down, I think Portsmouth are the worst side there. Apart from Sheffield Wednesday, I think Portsmouth are the worst actual football team in this division that had a chance of staying up before a ball was kicked. That is how bad I think Portsmouth are, and I don't really know what I'd think needs to change apart from limping into January with a smidge of a chance. Just hope you're not too far away and spend some brass, because that forward line is atrocious. But not to take away from Bristol City, because he's very good. Very good little header that one from McMetty anyway. He's a decent little player, I do like him. That's what you want, Portsmouth, from any of your forward line. Not just donuts in every stat column. Then honestly, that Pompey forward line's dog shit. But really good win for Bristol City. Stoke and all. Put your hands in the air like you just don't care. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. Thunder bastard from Sorba Thomas, if I do say so myself. Semi Ajayi was offside by the looks of it. I don't think the ball to the fellow who headed it across was. But I think Ajayi were coming back from an offside position. So I think they've been robbed there. But Joe Gellite, 90th minute. Absolute baller, baby. What's he on these days? 11 goal contributions in 18 games at 23 years old. Let's hope that Hull can buy him, even though Leeds are definitely coming down. Looks quite an even game, but this has just been very Hull. We'll try and outscore you in every single game. And to be honest, they're doing it really well. Yeah, they've had some very difficult fixtures recently. Going up against Derby away, who've really turned it on. The QPR one's a bit of an iffy one. Ipswich have started getting more results, more consistently. I know they lost this weekend. But then Stoke away is a very tough game. What a side that I think have got a real chance at, well, maybe even top 2, Stoke. They're a seriously very good team. So for Hull to win it, 30 goals scored. You've got second highest goal scored in division and an even goal difference. It's just stupid. 2 good sides, that. That's what I would say. Two good sides. I won't be too disheartened for a Stoke fan because, yeah, you've had a few losses recently as well. But I still think you'll definitely end up in top 6. Stoke are a really good team. But Hull, they're my boys this year, you know. Apart from Millwall, I'm rooting for Hull. Good on them. Cov Charlton, this is a bit boring, to be honest, because Charlton just win every single week. Charlton were winning all through Harvey Nibs, but then the inevitable does just happen constantly with Coventry. I really, really like them. I'd love to see crosses, actually, if I can find it on here. They've not put that many in this week. Only 19 Coventry put into box. But I felt like they didn't really have to because they could break them up and through middle quite well. Coventry just attacking so many different ways. Like, if they need to put a ball into box, they will. If they need to shoot from edge at box, they will. If they can break you up and straight down middle, they will. They'll get down your flanks. They're good at everything. I don't know. It must be a nightmare. If you're like an analyst for Charlton, for example, and your next game's Coventry away, what do you even go and say to Nathan Jones? Let's just try and keep score down because we're not going to win. It's impossible. This is the impossible task. You know that man with get boulder running uphill? That is Coventry. The big boulder is Coventry. No one can stop this team apart from Wrexham. Apparently, look at that form. Oh my God! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 wins there. Then another 5 there. So hold on. 11 wins in 12 games. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say title winners. I know, quite a hot take, but I think this just shows the standard of Coventry. Because a lot of the divisions are very close. And when we go and look at like League 1 or League 2, for example, and how far in front their number 1 position is compared to everybody else. Like, yeah, Middlesbrough down, it's a really close division. But Coventry on 43 points. In League 1, you've got Cardiff on 32 points. So Coventry are 11 points of the top of League 1. The top of the Championship is 11 points better than top of League 1. League 2, 35. They're 8 points clear of them. Coventry are so much... They are... the best side in this division by a mile. They are so much better than everybody. It's not even funny. And we're all probably sat here thinking, like, even people who support, like, maybe a Stoke or a Middlesbrough, some of these teams, everyone is looking at Ipswich and Birmingham and probably Southampton and thinking, all right, soon, in the next few weeks, he's really going to put it on and start winning some games. But they are nowhere near consistent enough to even smell Coventry's ass. Like, if you were a dog, I'm never going to try. No one's even close. No one is even close. Last 5 at best, last 10 at best, last 15 at best, last 20 at best. Not one second this season has there even been a team that's close to Coventry. They are best side by an absolute mile. And yes, I do maybe slightly worry about Charlton in this perspective because they're down in 17th now. After a really good start, they're only 6 points off bottom 3. So I do think they'll be in a slog, but I also think there's definitely 3 sides that are worse than them. Definitely. I think they'll stay up. But there's no shame in losing this game because literally everybody will every week. It's Coventry best side in this division by a mile. And it might be, I don't think they'll go down as the best ever, but it might be the biggest gap from first to second we've probably ever seen. I won't be surprised with that. They are just that good. Middlesbrough and Derby. Aggie scored in 2nd minute. That guy is a baller. Just say it again. That guy is such a good player, Aggie. I love him. Now, I didn't actually think that Middlesbrough would win this game because obviously coming into your first game in this division, going up against someone like Derby or a very physical side is a tough ask. But Middlesbrough did have the home aspect. And this Swede has come in. I watched the EFL highlights show and apparently he's a very attacking-minded manager. So we'll see. So we'll see if he can bring that style of football to Championship. But obviously Middlesbrough have had them sort of gaffers before. Carrick's probably a more patient version of this man, but again, he liked to shove his men forward, didn't he? And Middlesbrough, in highlights, they were shoving quite a few men forward, and that's after first game, and after he took, probably 2 training sessions and a shape meeting, and then you're immediately, like, seeing differences straight away. So, yeah, who knows? It's a very big unknown, and it was someone coming in from a foreign country that nobody's ever heard of. But really good start for him here, because there were better side start to finish. Derby, again, I won't be that bothered. To be honest, I won't be that bothered. Obviously, new manager bounce for Mills, but you can find so many excuses. Whatever you want to find as an excuse here as a Derby fan, you get it, mate, because I'd do the exact same thing. New manager, he's pissing it down, like, hungry, couple of headaches in squad, you know what I mean? It's just, it's not ideal, is it really? And ultimately, you don't want to be too good. This is always my excuse. You don't want to run away with it too much like Coventry, because Coventry are boring. You want to make it interesting, don't you? And Derby have got a chance at top 6, I'm telling you. But so have Middlesbrough. Good win. Armstrong, decent pen. Femi Aziz, really good goal. Really good goal from Femi Aziz. Absolutely wiped off face of this earth by Caleb Taylor's screamer from edge at box. Well, not even edge at box, from 30 yards away. But I'm telling you now, if he comes out and says that he aimed for that corner, he's lying. He's absolutely lying. When you see the camera angle behind him, he's cut across that. He's Jay Swazza Lynch that. He's trying to go for top left corner. He's missed it a bit. He's got under it too much. A centre-back strike. A centre-back strike. and he's cut across it so much that instead of going over there, it's gone and gone in other top corner instead. He has never met that in a million years. As equalised not long after, but then Kramer scores to win Millwall in the 97th minute. Looked quite an even game. Southampton have been good recently. 4 wins in a row coming to Den, but Millwall, Jesus Christ, they just make absolutely no sense. -3 goal difference, third in division. I only remember, I think Huddersfield went up with minus goal difference. When they went up for playoffs, didn't they? Is it when they bet Wednesday and then somebody else in fight? Oh, they bet Reading when the Sam. I'm sure that Huddersfield went up with minus goal difference. And that last one, Millwall. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Millwall in it. I'd love to see the fixtures coming up and all, to be fair. Bristol City, oh God. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. Let's just pretend that hadn't happened. Again, though, it won't be too disheartened if you're a Southampton fan. Millwall away is just one of them games. It's rotten. It's just a complete roll of dice if you're going to get anything from it or not, regardless of who you are. But Millwall, oh God, come on, baby. Come on, Millwall. Barnsley top 2, and then I can go to playoffs for Millwall. Norwich 3, QPR 1, ball knowledge. Ball knowledge. Not overly surprised. QPR in the last few weeks, before I even get on to Norwich, QPR in the last few weeks have been winning the games, but they're still very even, and I don't think they've run away with it even in the games that they do win. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. Like, there's only certain teams. You've got to be a serious side, haven't you, to just absolutely slap teams up when you win. Championship's a very tough division. Every game is an hard one, so I don't expect him to go and batter people every week. But just every game's close, so I just think in games where there's a lot on line, for Norwich here and for New Gaffer, he's obviously lost his first one against Birmingham. They were better side against Oxford. Oxford put a decent fight up, but they were better side against Oxford, and they conceded in like 94th minute in your first home game against what is one of the easiest games in the division. Coming to this QPR game, we're a side that's going to have nothing to play for. Let's be serious. Even if you're a QPR fan, you can admit this to me. It's all right. I'm not going to take offence to it. Like, it happens to us all. I will get in there towards the end of last season. But I think QPR are just very early finding out that you're not good enough to go up, and you're definitely not bad enough to go down. So in games like this, where Norwich have got so much to fight for and so much to play for, I think they will lose these type of games quite a lot. I think they took some of the chances quite well. That own goal was funny, to be fair. But the Maconda's one were a decent finish. Burrell's one, to be fair, like not a bad standard. But Norwich always were going to win that game, I thought. So, good win. Wednesday in Preston, they cut it fine. They did cut it fine there. They got lucky with missed penalty because Charlie McNeil nearly scored an hat-trick. To be fair, his goals were actually a decent standard. Whiteman's were a good finish as well, to be fair. And then obviously the missed penalty set it up nicely for Preston to score the winner just a couple minutes after. That was a good finish as well, to be fair, from Fjorken Jensen. Nice finish, man. I don't know. Just sort of back up my point on what I was saying, though, like in the predictions video. I think Preston have got to be on it to win. You can't rock up even to Wednesday, or worst side probably ever in this division, and be half-arsed and win. They just can't. You've got to properly be on it, Preston, if you want to maintain this position. I'm curious to see what they'll do in January, because I really don't know what the budget's saying. But I'd be curious what the board's stance is if Preston are in top 6 by spending note, and your thought process is, well, they got Sheffield United up with, without spending a great deal. I know Sheffield United had Njai at times, so it was just a freak for this division. But Eki has got a proven track record now in this league of doing well. And I think, like, why not chuck a bit of money at him in January in what is one of the weakest divisions I've probably ever seen in my life, when you've got Millwall, Stoke, Preston and Bristol City in top 6. It's a real chance for somebody like Preston to do it if you give him the tools. Obviously, going away to Wednesday and winning is not that impressive, because you'd have to be a genuine donkey to not go there and win. But they have picked up the points, even though they made it really difficult. Who's going to look back and think, oh, well, we only just bet Sheff Wednesday? No, you're going to look back at it and think 3 points, piece of piss, see you later. So regardless of how you've won, and that's the only thing that matters. I'm just not even going to bother with them, because they're still on -4. I'll start talking about Wednesday when they get on positives. So somewhere around March. West Brom and Swansea, you fucking lucky dog. You are a dog, Mason. Oh, shit. He's such a crap manager. But I'll tell you what, Swansea at minute... Poo-wee. Decent finishes and all. Vipotnik scored after about 11 seconds, and Galbraith scored a decent finish. It was a good move. I don't think... I won't class it as a screamer, because Griffith should have stopped it. But it caught it well, I guess you could say. Hegabo, by the way, starting to ball out a little bit. Serious number 9. Don't look that big and all, but he can hold his defender off, can't he? A proper old-school striker. I do like him. And then Malumbi won it from in 85th minute. They're both crap. Like, West Brom have done well to win. Ultimately, again, that's the only thing that matters in it. West Brom have done quite well to win. But these are both shit. Both of these teams are crap. But Mason has had his job saved for another couple of weeks. And Swansea, I'd love to see what they are on form table, actually. Like last 15 games, 4th bottom. What about last 10? Oh, God. Really poopy. Thing is, from a Swansea standpoint and all, a few of the losses, they have been tonked. Like they've lost 3 to here, and it looks quite an even game in terms of scoreline, but they did get absolutely slapped up, start to finish, by one of the worst West Brom teams. In fact, it might be the worst West Brom side I've ever seen. But they lost that. They got tonked away at Bristol City. They got tonked at home to Ipswich. They got tonked to Man City. Obviously, I'm not bothered there. They got tonked off Leicester. A lot of the games aren't close, and that is what worries me quite a bit, that they are worst team more or less every single week. And that is a humongous worry. Again, when you look at some of the sides that are in and around you, I expect Norwich to get out of it. I expect Sheffield United to be away from it. I think Oxford are better than them. I am pointing towards Wednesday, Portsmouth and Swansea at the minute. Obviously, things can change, but there's no international break to come and save you now. So if you're in bad run of form and they're coming Saturday, Tuesday, you are going to slide down that table fast. And Swansea, biggest example of that. But a good win for West Brom. And then Wrexham and Blackburn last. Good finish from that Good Johnson. Should have scored again, to be fair. And then Max Cleworth got an equaliser at 95th minute. I think Blackburn should have dealt with the chances that they got a little bit better than they actually did. I did expect more from them after seeing the highlights in this game. I don't really know what's going on with team selection here because Windass is on bench again. I don't know if it's I think it's an illness thing, actually. But a draw, when you take all context into it, does look fair. I mean, stats are maybe slightly teetering towards Wrexham, but highlights showed Blackburn should have scored a couple more. Shake hands, 1-1, straight down middle. And then we'll look at the table up next, baby. Right, bottom upwards. Obviously, Wednesday going to be at foot at table for the rest of the time. Norwich and Portsmouth in there as well. But like I said, I think you're looking at Charlton down for sides that are in serious trouble. And then what I would do is just eliminate Sheffield United from that. Swap Charlton and Sheffield United, and you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're looking at 6 teams for 2 places, because obviously Wednesday are gone. So 6 teams for 2 places. And currently for me, I'm looking at Portsmouth and Swansea as weakest ones. I was going to say, like, especially with Portsmouth, but they're both as crap as each other. At least Portsmouth are creating a few chances. They're just not scoring because the front line's crap. Swansea just look hopeless. They're both very, very poor at the minute, and nothing looks like it's going to change with that regard. Now, moving up the table, obviously Southampton lost to Millwall. QPR lost again. West Brom won somehow, but they are very poor, and a side that I just wouldn't look at as a serious threat to anything, to be honest, now with Mason in charge. I'm probably looking at Southampton, and then you're looking at Birmingham upwards for a chance at top 6, really. But Birmingham play Watford on Monday night, so there's obviously nothing I can say there. Ipswich with loss away. Oxford is really just teetered in my brain a little bit, but a really big win for Hull keeps them in 7th. Bristol City, Preston, Stoke, and Millwall make up playoffs. Middlesbrough still in 2nd, somehow. I don't really know how, but if Middlesbrough chuck some men forward in a lot of these games, like this Swedish manager likes to do, if they like to go for attacking football, then I could see them beating a fair few teams, to be fair. But top of division, yeah, I'd say it now. I don't think that's going to change for the rest of the time. Coventry are your title winners, mate, because these are best team by an absolute landslide. That is that. Absolute pleasure. Love you all. Kiss, make sure you like, subscribe if you do enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Goodbye.
Say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.